and what you actually want to hear from us. We read the stuff. It directly drives what we cover next. So if there's a topic you've been waiting for, this is your shot to push it forward. You'll find the link in the show notes or just head to sprw.io/STT-B-VTN. Fill it out on shift, in the kitchen, on the way home, wherever. It really does make a difference. All right, let's get into it.
Engine 1 from Car 1. Car 1's on scene. Assuming command. Give me a C.A.N report.
What's going on, everybody? This is Mike Goldstein. Stickers of the C.A.N Report. Nozzle Tov, everybody. I have a great guest. I have Louis Cimino in the house. Correct?
Yes,
I said the last.
Yes, you got it right.
All right. And he is one of the many people that work for the Kitchen Table Foundation. They've been spreading the good word, going around just helping people understand what the Kitchen Table Foundation is and the services they provide for first responders, military, and vets. And he's also one of the sponsors for the C.A.N Report. So I would love to have him on and for people to meet who you are and what the whole project is and get to know more about it. So thank you so much, Louis, for being on the C.A.N Report.
You got it. You got it, man. Well, I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to have you. Before we get going, I'd just love to give a shout out to my sponsors. One of them is with us right now, the Kitchen Table Foundation. We'll hear more about that, but also Engine House Designs, which teamed up with the Kitchen Table Foundation, which is really, really awesome. So if you guys are looking for shirts, you guys are looking for patches, I actually have I have one of the patches here that was given to me in the mail, which I really appreciate. You got the Kitchen Table Foundation patch, and I also have an awesome challenge coin, the Kitchen Table challenge coin, excuse me. And the Engine House Designs company is now making their swag. So check out their page, check out what they're doing. Also make sure you do check out Engine House Designs if you're looking for stuff for your union, you're looking stuff for your fire department, your business, whatever it is. He's doing great things with making quality products. He's very patient, he's very thorough, and he wants to make sure he's delivering the best product that you're going to be proud of. So check out Cody Hill of Engine House Designs. It is a firefighter-owned business out of Memphis, Tennessee. Working firefighter, just loves the job and loves to come up with all these great ideas for clothing that people give to him. So check him out. With that being said, I got my man Louis. So Louis, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shoot up here. I'm going to get your bio. Woo, brain fart.
Cool,
and then we're
yeah.
going to get going with this. Here we go. All right. Louis Cimino is a firefighter leader, motivator, and the guy behind hashtag Louisism. We'll get more into that. A mindset and movement rooted in business, forged in the firehouse, and built for real life. Grounded in the realities of emergency response, shift work, and team accountability. Louis believes that small, disciplined actions done consistently build strong firefighters, strong crews, and strong cultures. His core philosophy is simple and powerful. Small bricks build large castles on the fireground, in leadership, and in life. Through the four defining symbols of hashtag Louisism, the brick discipline, the castle legacy, the sunshine positivity, and the smile service, Louis challenges people to lead from where they stand, take ownership of their growth, and show up ready when it matters most. Louis brings a relatable, no-nonsense style shaped by real-life experiences, real consequences, and real leadership moments. His message resonates with probationary firefighters, seasoned members, officers, and chiefs alike, because it speaks to pride on the job, responsibility to the crew, and commitment to becoming better than yesterday. His mission, to help firefighters build themselves, their teams, and their future, one brick at a time, while spreading sunshine and smiles in a profession built on service. Woo! All right, there we go, man. Tongue twisters tonight. We're all trying to get our words out of our mouth. Man, I appreciate you, man. This is great. So, Louis, tell me about Louis, man. Tell me your background. Like, how long you been in the fire service for?
Well, I tell everybody I'm a soup sandwich, man. If you ever try to eat a soup sandwich, you need a plate, a bowl, a spoon, a fork, and eat it all. My fire service career started in Florida in the late 90s when I was getting married. Actually, I worked part-time on a cruise ship for a private company that was a firefighter in Florida, and I became a shipboard firefighter EMT. I was working, it's kind of like a military or prison. I worked at McDonald's for 32 years. So I was working at McDonald's, got an offer to make some extra money on this cruise ship. I did it. I loved it. Went to land-based school there. And in like 2001, Graduated from that, had an opportunity to come to Arkansas in 2004, moved up here and fell into a job here in Cabot, Arkansas as a firefighter. My certs all pro board came up here. I don't want to say adrenaline junkie. I'm just that I like to know how everything works. So I got into the ropes, I got into the trench, I got into hazmat, anything I could do just to get the knowledge base. And been here since 2004. I actually got hired in 05, so I've been here since 05. So 20 years full-time firefighter. I left McDonald's in 18. I did both jobs while I was up here for 14 years. So I was, we always have a side gig or something going on, a hustle. Left that in 18. Became a battalion chief, I think, in 16. I met all the marks while I was here, and just I think I'm a go-getter, and that's what led to right place, right time. I mean, the guy above, guy upstairs, put you where he needs you, and I was just in the right place, right time.
Wow. So that's pretty impressive that you worked for McDonald's that long of a time.
Yeah, I started when I was I was turning 14. I was 13 turning 14, and it was all for a pair of Air Jordan shoes. So you'll always see me, if you see me wearing a pair of shoes. I grew up, I was born in Gary, Indiana, moved to Michigan City, lived there till I was about 13, till I moved to South Florida. And during that time frame, Michael Jordan was, big with his shoes. And I wanted a pair of shoes, and my dad and mom at the time couldn't afford them. So we got the Pickway shoes, or the Kmart shoes, if you want to call it that. I took markers to them. I'm also an artist at some level, and I drew on them. I got in trouble, called them Louis Ciminos, and got in trouble, and then moved to South Florida. And my dad said, "You want those shoes?" And I said, "Yeah." I thought he bought them for me. He ended up giving me a uniform to go to work. So I ended up going to work and bought me a pair of shoes. And I have an addiction now. So whenever I see shoes, I buy shoes.
Yeah, my wife busts my chops all the time for all the shoes I got. I don't know what it is, but I love getting some new pairs of shoes. So I feel you right there.
It's my thing, man. Everything got a match, man.
So are you currently still working on the job in Arkansas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm battalion chief for A shift. So I run a shift of 14 guys. We're the only paid department in the county. I say it's a medium-sized department. We got 46 personnel, and we're growing. I think that's one of the beauties of where we're at. And I when I say this, I sound like a salesman, but we've never had, since I've been here, I've never had a real downshift or anything. We've plateaued a couple times, but it's a growing community. The population is about 30,000 people. And when I got here, it was like 18,000. So if you look at that, we went from 16 guys on duty when I got here in 05 to 14. And it's steady growth, in an environment, a social environment that we're getting harder and harder to find people that want to work or just do something. And I give a lot of speeches about the difference in generational mindsets. And when you start thinking about millennials and the Gen Zs and Ys, they're going to hold about 5 careers in that 20-year time frame, where I'm a Gen Xer, and we were always taught, put your head down, go to work hard, and, work there for 20, 25 years, get the watch or the ring, and just keep moving. But we're in a different world. And with AI coming up, it's going to keep changing it and evolving faster than I think we can do. And I think that's why a lot of these things, these podcasts and us coming out and talking about things is peeling back the unknowns, or, those layers of the onion, so folks can really understand what we have inside of us that drives us to make what we do work.
Yeah, I love it. And actually, I was talking to my kids. Actually, they hate AI, especially I have twin girls, and she is an artist. She is very, very good at drawing. I'm very impressed by what she can do. But she hates AI. She is like, she gives me shit whenever I use it to make up like a photo or something. She gets really, really mad at me. And I was talking to both of my kids today because I was driving home listening to music, and I'm listening to it, and it's some good songs, but it dawned on me, like, this doesn't sound real. Like, when you watch an AI video, it sounds kind of grainy.
Yeah.
So I'm listening going, that doesn't sound right. And then I heard one of the lyrics, and he called himself a woman, but it was a male singer, like a country kind of song. They called himself a woman. Like, wait a minute. This is wrong. I got home and I Googled the artist. I'm like, holy shit, it's AI. It's all AI. I was so disappointed. I was like, I thought it was an actual real artist. I guess that's the kind of the boomer coming out of me, that I didn't realize that it was an AI artist. But man, there's a lot out there, I was really disappointed.
I hate to say it's here. We're way off tangent, but the AI thing, I got into a conversation about June timeframe of '05 or 25. And I was dead against AI with everything. I'm like, man, we're losing our brains and we're giving it away. And my mindset to I want to know how things work and how this all thing, I dove into just learning. So I got on a bunch of different webcast challenges. And that's how Louisism started, with a challenge, but just getting into things and not sitting online. I believe if we harness it right, I think it's going to be a good thing. I know it's going to be a good thing because it's going to save time. It's going to save, as I said, the workforce doesn't want to work, and you have things you want to do to create things to eliminate the time spent behind the scenes. So I think there's some good aspects to it, just like the social media. If you're using social media, I use it as a newspaper. I just scroll through it. I don't dive into the comments, look for things to get energy spikes. I just let me get the information and keep moving.
Yeah.
But I think AI is going to work the same way, and unfortunately it's changing every 3 months or so. It's a new generation, a new whatever. But from the artist standpoint, I do agree with your daughter, because I got an art degree, and it's making everybody the artist. They're just talking to it to what they want to see, and then they get this beautiful piece of art. But I think it's
Yeah.
going to make that art that she does with her pencil or paint or whatever, it's going to make it more valuable long term. Just tell her,
Absolutely.
don't stop drawing.
No,
Do
I'm
not
always
stop.
encouraging her. She's doing fantastic work. I always brag about her skills, but also, I mean, it's kind of on tangent though. Like what we do with trying to, I don't want to say influence. Because I do hate that title that goes along with it, but I guess try to motivate, because that's what you are. You're a motivator.
Yeah.
And the whether it's a slogan or an article or something that feels important to you, and you type it up and you get it out, but then you see other pages out there, right? And they, you can tell it wasn't even attempted to be written. It was just a whole AI driven,
Ask the
right?
questions, and there it
Right.
is.
You plug in a word, you say in the chat, or you say in the AI, like, write me an article on firefighter passion. And all of a sudden it's going to spit it out, right? And then copy and paste it, put on your page, and everybody thinks you're accomplished a writer. But the people who have a keen eye and a keen mind, they're going to see that, right? And they'd be like, no, this, because I was reading a couple of articles, not articles, but posts on people's pages. It was supposed to be like a motivational and like leadership thing, and I'm reading it going, man, this is not organic. This is not real. I don't feel the passion, and I can tell a computer wrote this. So for you, what you do, because you're very driven with motivating and inspiring people, what you're saying, what you're doing is very organic.
Well, I'm working on making it organic, but I'm trying to use the tools too. I don't know if you've seen a couple of the posts I've been putting out. I do a question of the day, and I've used that artwork. I let it come up with that artwork just so it stays the same. So I believe we need to use the AI to make things happen. But however, that piece that you're saying organic, when folks are doing something on their computers and that's what they're relying on, and then they show up in the real world and they're not that person,
yeah,
it's gonna shine twice as much. That's two sides of the coin. And we can't play from, I tell everybody, you can't play from two sides of the coin. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're diving into that and what you do. Tell me about #Louisism. What are you doing? What is it, the meaning behind it?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of the history of it. Like I said, I left McDonald's in 2018. I started a challenge from a high school friend out of the blue. She called me and said she wanted to get on do a live challenge on Facebook with a company. They're not really a company anymore. It's a social CEO. I wasn't on Facebook at the time. I dabbled in it. My wife used to post for me. So I jumped on there, and it was do a video every day. So I started this thing in April of 2018, doing a video every day. And when I was doing that, someone called it the Louisisms. So I rolled with it. We did them for 365 days. And I was just taking stuff that was in my head or things that I have learned through time. And it wasn't anything I didn't think it was anything spectacular. About that time, 2019, my salary kind of went from a level when I was working at McDonald's and all these jobs to just a fireman. So took a dip. I'm also in the health and wellness arena. So I was selling supplements, and that took a little turn. And so I got in my own psyche of self-worth and those type of things. And I did some battling with some mental health problems from in the middle of 19 into about 2021. We went through COVID. I was working on an ambulance, trying to make things happen, the fire service. So I was burning the candle from both ends. maintain the Louisisms. And I tell everybody during that time frame, I think I maintained them in the notebooks because I used to write everything in a notebook that I want to talk about. And those notebooks, I think that was the guy upstairs telling me I got to go through this to learn so I could give it to somebody else. So I was actually, I believe, helping myself. And then it turned into just talking to people. And I'd be walking places here in Cabot, 30,000 people are, running around, and they'd point you out and, hey, that's that guy. And I didn't realize folks are watching it. So the things like you're doing, folks are watching. We don't know they're watching.
Yeah.
And when you make a contact with somebody, and then I would get an out of the blue message from somebody, a thank you for something I did. And it just, you start asking yourself, I'm here for a reason. Who am I letting down if I don't do what I can do? Because it's not really, in my mind, it's not hard work to talk to somebody, find an issue, and then if I have the answer, I got the answer or something, I can direct them. But sometimes it makes me want to know how I can help this person. So that in 2018 to now, they were just videos. Then it led into, some public speaking, and I got hooked up with a gentleman named Billy Osbrooks, which he does a lot of YouTube videos. And he kind of got me get on stage. You got to start giving. Somebody out there needs what you have inside you. So that's where that came from. So I started public speaking, doing that probably 2 years ago. It'd be about 23. And it's just been, for me, it's been a movement just to really change, help people find I like to say the small bricks to build their castles. I mean, we all have goals and aspirations, and I believe we get in our own head. And that's where the kitchen table really falls into this. I've been there, and when I say that to people, they just look at you like, you've got a third eye going in the middle of your head. But I've been there when you're isolating yourself, you're asking yourself about your own self-worth and those things. And especially in the service we're in, sometimes we see things that don't fit right, and we try to file them, or we see something that it touches us some way, shape, or form that we can't get rid of the thought. And we try not to bring it home. We try not to take it when we go grocery shopping, but we're carrying it. And as we're carrying it, it weighs a burden on us. And I met a lady here in Arkansas, named Nikki Pinn, and she talks about it like an overweight, overloaded tractor trailer going down the street. It's a train wreck waiting to happen. And end of 24, and I'm still doing the Louisisms, and I'm talking to people. And end of 24, maybe September, October timeframe, a buddy of mine, a guy I work with, he goes, hey, check this out. He shows me the kitchen table. It was just an event they posted on there. The four gentlemen that started it said, go down there and look at this. They're meeting. And I like to meet with people. I'm a people person. I'd rather sit around and talk, and whether we're doing this or something, I could talk for days. And he goes, why don't you go down there and talk to these guys? I said, yeah, I know that. I know these two, so I'll go down there. So I go down there. There's maybe 8 or 9 guys, and we're just talking about the stuff that we go through and the things that we see, and how we're interacting, whether it's a call or a situation we got with someone we work with, or admin doing something, or how are we going to get ready for first in. You mentioned first in and stuff, all these different things. And I felt my energy, and I talk a lot about how your energy lifts. I felt my energy just rise. I went in with carrying a couple things, and all of a sudden I'm leaving, and my energy's higher than it was when I went there. So then you go back and you start giving out that energy, telling, the folks I'm working with, hey, you want to come with me next time? And that's really how the kitchen table started. It was 4 guys wanting chicken wings, talk about life. They come to, next thing you know, there's 9 guys talking about life, and then it's 30 guys talking about life. And it just, how do you spread that feeling? I like to say, spread the feeling of energy. You can't keep it all to yourself.
Yeah.
It's right before, when we were in the little waiting room talking, I shine a light, man. There's so much darkness out there in the world, and the world, I hate to say it feeds off it. And we got to eliminate that, feed off darkness, and add the light. And so that's the 2 ends of this. That's how I got involved with the kitchen table. It was to, we talk about mental health, and it's one hand and one thing. And I'm going into preaching now. There's 8 dimensions of wellness. And when we think about all 8 of them, mental's one of them: mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, occupational, environmental, social, and I'm forgetting one, but there are 8. If one of those pillars falls down, we're, as human beings, we got to fix it. I mean, it's kind of like a structure. When we start losing those rafters of those beams, we're going to lose the structure. So I believe in mental health is huge for us, but there's a lot of other things that are adding to that mental health that I think we can fix. One, just by talking. Just,
Hmm.
to tell somebody I've have or had that problem, or why don't you try this? Or let me direct you to somebody that can give you some help. And that's what the kitchen table's here to do. We partnered with you to get the word out. We partnered with, the IAFF Center of Excellence, if that's needed. We haven't worked out all the kinks in that, because that takes, as we talked earlier about the money piece, it takes money to do that. And then not only the money to send somebody for, out the patient care that takes 30 days, but what happens to their life here? I mean, so when
Yeah.
you start going, there's the mortgage don't stop. And most of the time, the gas company don't care. And it's just there's a lot of little pieces. And I think we always, as we're building the kitchen table and we're building through whatever we're doing in life, that bigger castle that we're shooting for, there's a lot of them little small bricks that we got to take care of. And I don't think any one person, I say this all the time while I'm on the job, there's no Superman. No one's got an S on their chest, and it takes all of us. Not one of us can do all that we're doing here. So it's a process, and I could ramble on and keep going for days.
Well, that's why I have you here. Well, not for days, but I have you here to
Yeah.
ramble on and talk about your
Yeah.
passion and talk about
Yeah.
the Kitchen Table Foundation. And real quick, in your bio, you had the 4 pillars. How did you come up with it, and what are they?
Well, when I tell you this, you're going to get a chuckle. I was a captain, and I used to get frustrated with some of my crew, and I would always say, and this is that negative piece, I would tell them, these small bricks you guys are laying are going to build us a prison, and we're going to get stuck in this prison. And I said that for years. And then when I started going through my mental problem, I had a friend of mine also from high school. We were in this health and wellness business together, and he starts going. I had him at the house. We were doing something here. We were doing an expo for the Little Rock Marathon. And I like all the gangster movies, and I grew up in that realm. I'm Italian. I love it. I got some pictures of Scarface and all that on the wall. And he's looking at all the pictures I got hanging with the family. And he goes, none of these, you're not smiling in any of them. And I'm like, man, you're right. But I'm thinking, but that's what I am. And he goes, no, that's not what you are. He said, you're a good person inside, but you've got this facade of don't talk to me, don't touch me, leave me alone. And you're unapproachable. So it really hit me a little. It took me back, because I got pictures of both my kids as babies, and I'm not smiling.
Hmm.
So during that time frame, this is probably mid 18, it's probably 19 when this started going in my head, and that self-worth thing. I started asking myself, what do I want to be known as? And that's that legacy piece. What kind of castle do I want to build? I'm telling people we're building prisons now. We don't need to build prisons. So take that same small brick. I believe everything starts with the small brick. You got to lay down the foundation, and then let's make it a castle. What do castles look like? So, it started there. I like the beach. Like I said, I grew up from 13 to 30 change in South Florida. I love the beach. I love sand. We build sand castles. We do all that. So the small bricks build the castles, and then it led into the, sunshine and smiles. We got to share them. You can't keep those. And that's the positivity and that service to other folks, and I tell everybody the smallest little smile that you could share with somebody is telling them, giving them a smile. They're contagious. All you got to do
Yeah.
is smile. You're going to lift that energy, open a door for somebody. I mean, just the small, it's not going buying them a bunch of balloons and a bouquet and give them a gift card. The simple things. It's just so simple. I mean, just as we're in the fire service, we run 80s change medical calls, just looking at somebody in their eyes and, tell them you're here to help them,
Yeah.
and just
So you
that's
have,
small.
like I said, you have the pillars, and you have the brick, you have the castle. And honestly, I think what I like the most is the sunshine, the positivity, and the smiles, the service. Hit on those two, really, if you can. Like, focus on the sunshine, and I want to hear about the smile.
Okay. Well, the sunshine is your positivity. When I talk about positivity, we all have the ability to manage our own energy. And when I give a speech about energy, we let society dictate to what frequency we're on. And when I tell everybody this, boredom, and when I say boredom is just sitting in a room with nothing going on, you're bored, you're not really paying attention to the TV, is about 250. The minute you add a little bit of gratitude to that energy, and I tell folks every day, a glass of water, I always do the water, glass of water in the morning, say 5 things you're grateful for. And that's just to start your day. It takes that boredom from 250 to 500. So when you're lifting your energy up to 500, you're putting off a frequency that's not going downhill, because the minute you get that negative aspect of stuff, Fear hangs out about, I think fear is like 125. And then you get into the anger and all that other stuff that's below that. And that's what the world's out there doing to us. So as we're lifting up this energy and get our energy up, we're able to lift our vibe above 500. We're able to share with other people, and the smiles piece is sharing that energy and that service to people. Because I tell everybody we're humans and we're built to connect. The minute we hoard all our stuff, we isolate ourselves, we isolate everybody else, and that's where all the all the inside negative happens. We start second guessing ourselves. We start second guessing what we do. Start second guessing our self worth. Why we're here? We're all here for a reason. We just don't know that reason as we're walking this journey. So they go hand in hand. I say, share the sunshine is that energy. Share your energy, not the negative energy. Share that pot, because no one wants to be around a negative person. I mean, we've all walked in a room and you're like, man, him again. And that's you got to, and that's people sometimes don't like it. I try to go out of my way to lift the energy. Whether it's being goofy, saying something silly. I mean, just get the laughter out there, man. It starts with the smile. And then the service piece, I believe we serve everybody. We're here built to connect. We're here to serve everybody. If you have a hand to hand somebody, we should be handing it to them. We can't hoard it. I have talked, been in a lot of deals we talked about monetization earlier and money. Well, money's meant to be in motion. Money's not meant to be stuck in a safe somewhere or hiding underneath the pillow. It's meant to be in motion, and it creates its own energy. And when that money's in motion, I believe it's creating more money, whether it's for you or for who needs it. And it's going to flow where it needs to go. But that's the free spirit in my mind, how you deliver that.
What's the sun? Is that the sunshine?
The sunshine's a service, is sharing it. Or no, the sunshine's the positivity and energy. The smiles, because they're very easy to give away. They don't cost us nothing.
Right.
A smile costs zero. Simple smile.
I love it. So then you mentioned Kitchen Table Foundation, and then how it kind of happened around the kitchen table, and you met them in Arkansas because they were still doing the same thing that you were talking about, having this great positive message and wanting to spread that far and wide. So can you elaborate more really on it? Because I have their pamphlet in front of me.
Got the same one.
So tell me a lot, because I've been talking about them a lot. I've been telling a lot of people about them. You guys have been traveling around the state, really spreading the message, talking to a lot of businesses. You're a nonprofit. And what is it you're trying to do when you're traveling around? What is it that you're trying to deliver?
Well, this is where it gets a little haywire, gets a little blurry, because it's so much that we'd like to achieve. The first thing we like to achieve is creating kitchen tables, is in many places as you can, to get folks to come in and interact and talk. I don't know how it is up there in the Northeast, but where we're at, we have some larger departments, like Little Rock, or there's a couple other departments, same size. Conway's another city. We were in Conway yesterday, and we tend to put up walls or borders. That's them doing their thing, we're doing our thing, or administration does that, or whoever does it, and breaking down those walls. So we're using the energy of everybody to meet at these tables. So kind of the goal is to get out there and we haven't got it figured out. So I'm telling you, we're working this through. How do we create this concept and take it to other places with that long-term goal of the long-term help if someone needs it? So when we're talking to businesses like we were at a place called O'Malley's here the other day, actually yesterday, and had a function where they gave us a patch wall and a place to come. And we're going to eventually, and we're leaving it up to, I say they can do whatever they like, but I asked them, pick a day that we meet on the second Wednesday of every month at the local tavern. I asked them, please don't put it on that day, because I'd like to still come here and interact with you guys, because it's not about creating your little baseball team or your football team or your team. It's about us continually interact. So what we'd like to do is see that grow as a group. We've also talked about and thrown about having, some sort of classes. I'm also involved with the NFFF, National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, and the classes that they have. And, a lot of us are involved in IAFF. There's classes that they have. Presenting these classes, giving us a foundation or a platform to hold these classes all around and promote the education, the knowledge, the growth, and get ahead of all these other problems. I mean, I know the number one thing that we're talking about is the mental health, but if we can get ahead of it and show people that we're here to help in everything we do, I think we can get in front of this mental health problem. The big goal is to have the funds, if someone had to go to the Center of Excellence for the Health, to have the funds there. And like I said, give it to them. But, that's the money thing. Money's got to flow.
Right.
We've had conversations, and they may be wishing, I'm a visionary. It may be wishing to have more than one Center of Excellence. I mean, the ones up there in Maryland, why couldn't there be 3 of them or 4 of them or 5 of them regionally like FEMA? Maybe, who knows what that looks like. But I think there's no lid. That's my biggest thing is that if we have an idea, we have to work towards it. We got to continuously walk that path, that journey. Because if we put a lid on it, I tell a story about a flea, and it's an old story about, the flea's got and stuff. Steve Harvey's the one that says it all the time. Flea's got the highest vertical jump, 36 inches. You take that flea that can jump 36 inches and you put it in a ball jar, put a lid on it. He's going to jump once, twice, maybe 4 times, hitting his head on that lid. He ain't going to jump to the lid no more. He's going to bring it back so he's not hitting his head. I think when we get into these things like this, I don't have the answer, but the more we talk about it, we're going to meet the right person to have the answer. Just like with the kitchen table, like I said, I got involved with them end of 24, beginning of 25. And when I tell you the ball, I've never seen anything roll so fast to getting involved with politicians and speaking to people and judges coming out to talk to us and just having that interaction. I've never seen anything happen so fast. The 501c3 happened. So that's telling me we're on the right path, because all these pieces of the wheels of the gears are mixing. We met with the governor. She's got a faith council here. We went and presented to them, and those connections led to more people to talk to. And even if we're going out just talking to anybody, I mean, when we look at the fire service, the EMS, the dispatchers, the police officers, there's so many people out there that maybe they just need someone to talk to. I mean, just, we're here. We appreciate you. I had a conversation with a couple dispatchers the other day. We went through a consolidation here in Arkansas where there's only so many dispatch centers for population. So there's a lot of these consolidations. So they went through this whole hurdle about doing it new, doing it a different place. When you sit back and, some of them needed, the one I spoke at their conference in November, but I told them, you are the first brick. You are the cornerstone to everything we do. You have to understand how important your job is. Yeah. So you just missing one word, one sentence, one number, it affects the whole thing we're doing. Mm-hmm. So you're that important to us. And just telling, these folks that they stood back, they thought because I'm a fireman, I'm going to tell them, if you do this wrong, you do that wrong. No, it's not the way it works. We work together, and you are the start of this process.
Yeah. I hold a soft spot for dispatchers because that's where I started my career as dispatcher. And it's not the easiest position because, like you just said, like usually get blamed for everything. It's easy to second guess a dispatcher when you're sitting in the truck or don't understand why they did something a certain way, but we have the information that we're trying to give out to you, especially when it's busy. So people are always like my biggest pet peeve, and I know the dispatchers listening can understand as well, is that when you're busy and you have an officer, a police officer, or you have your lieutenant on the fire truck calling you up wanting more information, and especially if you're by yourself and you've got the phones blown up because they got questions, when you're trying to relay it to them on the radio, man, that really gets me going. It's hard to keep your composure when you're trying to relay that pertinent information. So my hat's off to all the dispatchers out there, because it is a thankless job. It's a very difficult one. And every time when I was dispatching, I'd have a police officer or a fire department come in and they would immediately tell me, I don't know how you do this job. I could never do this job.
I don't know how they do it because they can't see anything. All they do is they're hearing him. So their imagination's got to be going crazy. And then I tell everybody, I hate having egg on my face. And to me, egg on my face is when I don't have an answer. So that goes back to everything I said earlier. I want to know at least a little bit on how things operate. So I'm going to sit back and I'm stare at it, ask a couple questions. But when someone's in a fast-paced environment or asking, question, I couldn't handle it. I'd go Italian on them.
So with the Kitchen Table Foundation, so if somebody gets a hold of somebody, so you have your numbers on here and you have the website and stuff. If I'm looking for help, if I need services, what's the kitchen table going to do for me?
Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to you a little bit, get some information from you, and then we're going to make connections for you. That's where we're at currently in the process. We're involved with Hannah from the Center of Excellence, and we'll get you connected there. We are working on a bunch of. I've currently got certified as a peer-to-peer counselor. We're working on getting some more of those and having the number lines to make those calls and that stuff happen immediately, and putting that stuff in place so that you're gonna get a person to talk to up front and foremost. We're not gonna go to sit in the dark room, wait for 7 days. We'll get you an appointment. And that's probably our biggest. That's where we're at today. Like I said, where we'd like to go is huge. It's just getting the people and the right people, the right players in place. And I hate to say that because we're going through some internal, mission driven. I'd say that a couple times. Once you lose sight of what the mission is, the people. Mission is not.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's not a sticker. I get the coins and all that. I have my own coin. I get all that, but all that stops once the person's got a problem. A person's coming to knock on the door. An office doesn't do that. A phone number, fancy brochure, a sticker. It doesn't do that.
So with the Kitchen Table Foundation, do you, for the services, do you try to give them area specific? Do you so if, again, I'm living in New Hampshire, for whatever reason, I don't know my services in this state or my
The
area.
beauty of that is we've been working on with this is part of connecting this chain or this web, spider web, as I like to say. The more we go out and talk to people, we're finding advocates in other places to help us navigate this. And like, I've never been to the Northeast, I wouldn't know where to go, but making the connection with the Center of Excellence and having the ability to do that. We've talked to some folks in Kentucky and having that area to know who to talk to. And I'm connected with some folks in Florida. It's just, it's knowing the people, and it's all about talking. And I hate to say this. I went to a conference and folks have these problems in other places. I mean, where the problems are there. And instead of us trying to recreate the wheel, it's making that spider web of connections. I mean, I was at a conference in, I think it was late October in New Orleans, and we were talking about moral traumas, not just seeing something bad, but how our psyche's taking it morally. It's a trauma to deal with. And how do we fix that? Because that's a true foundation to your beliefs and your behaviors. So, I mean, I have never heard anybody talk about a moral trauma. So when you start thinking about we're opening up a big package.
Yeah.
It's finding, it's got to get everybody on the right platform. And then it's finding the legislative to make it happen, because it's been shoved in the closet for so long. And that's finding the right person to present that. I'm not the right person to do that, but it's just finding the right people to present this, to, say I don't want to say a problem. There are always in my mind, there are opportunities. How can we take what's happening and how do we make it better? Whatever's here. I mean, if we just looked at apples all day, we'd only eat apples, but we've come up with other things. We've come up with apple fritters and apple pies, and we've come up with other things. That's not keeping that closed mindset.
Don't come to me with a problem. Come to me with a solution.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, we're firefighters. We want to fix things. So, but it's definitely it's hard for us to fix ourselves, because we're always hyper focused on others and in our side hustles. And by the time we think about ourselves, it's always too late, and we're dug that hole pretty deep.
No energy there when we think about ourselves, and that's why that's why I talk about those eight different areas of wellness. And if we're not taking a little bit to take care of ourselves, and you know how I tell everyone we're career professional athletes. So if we're not moving all the time and physically fit to do our job, we're starting in that hole, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add the bad decisions for food, and we're going to add the bad decisions for things we do and how we react, because our mind, our body is not operating at optimal levels. And then again, isolation happens. Isolation could be just getting in your car going from work to home. I mean, that some 20 minutes, some 2 hours. And then you start talking to yourself, and then what you're listening to. I tell everybody in that energy piece I talk about, what kind of energy you put in yourself. If you get in the car and you're listening to it, and I like rap music. I mean, there are bad rap music. There's good rap music. If you listen to all that bad stuff, when you get out of the car and you had all that turmoil going on, isolation, you can bring that to the house. I mean, what are you
Yeah.
putting in your mind? I mean, I'm not saying listen to Disney music all the time, but sometimes you got to click that switch. I tell everybody, find something you're interested in, find your functional skill. I mean, we all have one. Find that skill, be the best you can at it. And when you get alone, find a podcast, find your podcast, listen to your podcast, listen to somebody else's point of view on something to get your mind working, because it's exercise for the mind. Once you start exercising your mind, you're recreating those pathways to create the positive instead of looking for the ways to demoralize it and turn it into a negative.
And so this is a lot from your own previous experience.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
you say it with such conviction. So, I mean, you don't have to go into great detail, but what are some things that you've learned in your life, or what are some experiences that has helped you in this journey? You know, the good coming out, you know, you had the good and you have now the bad, you have the good. Like for me, I'm very open about my experiences, whether it was childhood trauma and then workplace toxicity. Some people have never experienced it, which I'm thankful for a lot of people who've never had to deal with these issues, but the people who are currently experiencing them, or, you know, right in smack dab in the middle or coming out of it, what's some of your experiences and how do you come out?
I would tell you, the first thing I would say is you're not alone. Don't think that it's just you. You're broke, because you're not broken. We become fractured a little bit, but we're not broken. Uh, the biggest thing I tell everybody is that frequency piece. What frequency you're operating on, and you have to. And I gave a speech to my shift first part of last year, because we were having some stuff about people not liking certain rules, administration, promotions, whatever. We got to look in the mirror, and it sounds like the old cliche. You got to admit to yourself that there's something there. So look in the mirror and ask yourself, how do I become more? I mean, what are the things I need to do to become more internally? Because status quo is going to get you nowhere. My first thing that I did was I started listening to every morning I wake up, I get the cup of water, like I told you. I either write it down. I have a journal. I used to write down in a gratitude journal notebook. It doesn't take nothing fancy, spiral ring notebook. Write, 5 things you're grateful for. It could be the lights are on. I got a wife, of kids, everybody's healthy, we got a job, whatever. And then that energy lifts, and then go look in the mirror, smile at yourself in the mirror, give yourself that smile. So then when that starts, then a word usually pops up in my head. Or if I'm talking to somebody the night before, the day before, we're talking about a problem or something positive. I mean, it could be anything. Like the word purpose came up the other day, and I posted something about, your purpose leads to your identity. But I would go type into YouTube purpose and see what motivational purpose and see what comes up. And I just start listening to videos and let them talk to me. I mean, as I'm driving, so the radio doesn't come on as much as it used to. It's more of these folks talking to me. So I'm trying to reprogram myself, because I want my frequency to change. I don't want my frequency to be down. And you can rebuild those neural pathways to positivity just by giving it what it needs to feed on. So I would tell anybody, think about what you're consuming. If you're getting on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook, and I'd say this conversation comes up weekly. I'm on Facebook all the time. I scroll through Facebook like a newspaper. In the 70s and 80s, I remember my dad getting up in the morning, open a newspaper, he'd read the newspaper.
Yeah.
They don't do that no more. Now it's on a computer, or he's doing the scroll thing. But people scroll to read the newspaper, and then they're hitting the button, and then they're getting everybody's comments on the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that. You had the editor's comment, and then you chose what you wanted. You didn't have two, people fighting you for what you think about. So then we start accepting all these other people's beliefs. They start changing our mindset on our beliefs. And then I don't know anybody that reads through the comments that has closed that phone and felt better about themselves than when they opened the phone.
It's amazing when you get into the comments that you actually carry it through the day. Like, it actually pisses you off, and you have no idea who this person is. Like you say, like, you'll be reading a news article online, and you see somebody's comment, and they're getting into their own argument, and you actually carry that with you, and you're like, you're actually thinking about it the whole day, and how pissed off you are about that conversation that you know nothing about. You don't know the people.
You don't know them.
You don't know them, and like, you didn't even get it. What is crazy is, like, you didn't even get involved in it. You just read it. You're not even in it, but it just made you so mad. It's all you can think about. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely 100% right. Like, back in the day, you read the newspaper and then you closed it. And you're like, man, that was a crazy article. Or man, I can't believe what's going on in the world. You close it and you do your job and you wait for the next morning to get the paper. And now it's just filled with comments and you consume yourself with it. And it really is an incredible world that we can use things for good, but also sometimes it really can hurt us for bad. And it's addictive and it can be overpowering. And, you have to know you have to really know when to shut off. And I think, especially for mental health, I think that's why it's become more prominent. And I think, honestly, for at least from what I see and feel, is it's harder for us to really relax and close our mind, shut them down, and kind of meditate, right? When our world is full of chimes and alerts, and you pick up your phone and it's there. Like you say, even when we were beginning our conversation, I'm like, hey, is your phone on focus? Because I don't want you to be interrupted. I don't need all the dings and everything else. And you're right. I'm going to take my phone and throw it in my drawer so I can completely focus on our conversation. How many times do you, like, you're talking to someone and they're looking at, yep. No, I'm listening. And then, I do it. I catch myself doing it. I got to take my phone and throw it to the side. But it's hard with our line of work, and we got to be diligent and focused on the job. But then we come home and I'm very, very guilty of it as well. I sit on that couch and I immediately open up my phone and I start doing the same thing. I start scrolling and sharing and liking. And we need to, I think, for ease of mind and to find peace, you got to unplug. And I made a comment, I made a post about it, and Mickey Farrell, FDNY lieutenant, he made a post about it, and it hit home for me. Was he said, you got to unplug, turn off the podcasts, turn off your phone, read a book, read something that, the pillars of our community and the fire service world had given to us. Shut everything down and actually just pick up a book and enjoy the quiet and just, look at the words, stop looking at the screen. And that really hit home to me. I'm like, you know what? I got to do more of that. Because I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm starting to feel anxious. I'm starting to consume myself with that. And you don't even know you're doing it until all of a sudden, right? You're like, crap.
Because it's norm. It's norm for everybody.
Yeah. And my wife, again, I look over at my wife and she's on her phone and I'm on my phone, and I look at my kid and she's on her phone. I'm like, damn, we all need to just take the phones and turn them off and just relax.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's society. I mean, I think you have to keep talking about it. I mean, I try to read as much as I can. You see the books back there. There's an old adage: read 10 pages a day. You don't have to read cover to cover. Just get into some book 10 pages a day. I try to find. I try to set myself up. I'm a routines guy. Maybe it's for McDonald's or things that you got to do in a time manner. So the first 3 days of every month, I read a chapter of Think and Grow Rich. And I try to put there's 13 chapters in that book. Try to put that chapter top of mind for that month. So as I'm doing things, and it creates my flow for the month. But then I've got, other books that I'm trying to read. And I really don't carry them with me. I got 2 books I read at the firehouse. It's usually 10 pages before I go to bed, because I wear a whoop and I track everything. And I want to, you hit the little journal button, and it tells me, it shows me when I read before I go to bed, I have a better night's sleep. So I'm in the firehouse. I don't sleep well. How can I make it a little bit better? So I lay down and I read the 10 pages of those books there. They're the longest books for me to get through, but I know that that's the place I do that. But it's setting the parameters on when you want to do things.
I actually love that. I love that, dude. I do the same thing. When I'm laying down for the night at work, I'll take a book and I'll do the same thing. I know I'm not going to make it through the book, and that's not my plan. I'll do the same thing. I'll shoot for at least 10 pages. If I can get to 20, that's great. If the tones don't drop, but if it's actually a good quiet night, within those 10 pages, I'm feeling relaxed. And it's easier to fall asleep, and I love it. And I can't remember who said it, but you should always be reading a book a day, or a book a month or something like that. You should always be reading, right? And it really does calm our mind. Those screens are just, and I feel like I harp on it a lot more. I think maybe I just been getting older, but
We can't
right? Like
stop that.
right? And I just feel like getting older. Like, I definitely feel like we need to practice getting unplugged a little bit more, reading some good books, looking what's out in front of you. And there's nothing wrong with, again, there's nothing wrong with social media. There's nothing wrong with listening to podcasts and gaining good information and great knowledge and meeting new people. I love listening to podcasts because to me, I'm meeting new people. I might not meet them
You
in
are,
person, but right,
but
whether
you're
I'm
getting an
listening to them.
understanding.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great understanding. When I'm
you're
listening to
working,
podcasts, my
working the
brain's,
middle.
I'm driving to work and I'm listening to podcasts. Oh man, yep, I would totally do that. Yep, no, I like this, no, I like that, and I start documenting that in my brain, and I love listening. I just met somebody brand new in my brain, but you do have to unplug a bit and relax your brain, relax your mind, because you need to focus on in front of you, and whether it's meditation or just a quiet, just take
We
an
used to
hour to be quiet.
we used to teach him, but this is going back to the 90s. We used to teach him McDonald, be here now. You got to be here. You can't
Mm.
be in all these places. I mean, when someone's talking to you or in front of you, I mean, you got to be here. I mean,
So
especially, I talk about leadership. When you go into leadership, if a leader's bouncing around or always into a report or into something, they're not here. They're not leading.
all your years in McDonald's, it seems like it's actually, you're able to use your experience
Oh,
into the fire service world.
ton. When I got promoted to battalion chief, I had asked I'd asked the assistant chief at the time. I said, I was having a rough go at it, and I'm hard headed. And I said, "Why'd you pick me?" And he said, "Because you were what we needed." So, and we sat down. It was actually at an adult beverage place, and he said, dive into what you know." And I I did it for, like I said, 32 years, man. I actually owned restaurants and brought teams up and motivated people. I'm still in contact with folks that I worked with. I don't say they worked for me. We worked together. I mean, and that's McDonald's said, and I'm not involved with McDonald's at all, but they train more people than U.S. Army. It's no longer there, but they had their own training facility, and there is a place called Hamburger University, and they taught shift management, people management, negotiate for results, business leadership practices. We taught all that. I mean, or went through that. In a, you think it's a hamburger business. We were the people, but we were a people business. When we got kids at 16 years old, back then, I think we were hiring 15, 16, about the time I got into management. And we taught them how to tie their shoes and blow their nose and shave to come to work, and how to count and take inventory. And you think about any McDonald's restaurant. Back when I started, it was $1 million, but when I left, it was about $3 million. There about $2 million, $3 million businesses run by teenagers. When you think about it, I mean, it's what's going on. And I tell everybody that's not an end. I mean, for some it is. It's an ending place. You move up through the ranks, and that's where you stick. But like myself, it served its purpose, and you move on. But you don't all the experiences we gained. I mean, even the podcast we're doing now, we gained it. Put it in your briefcase, your attaché, so you carry it somewhere else. It's just like anybody you're sharing those smiles with, or interacting with. We're learning from every time we're at the kitchen table. I learned something. You meet people, you start talking to people, and you take a little nugget. I mean, what are you spreading? I mean, but the McDonald's, it was a great experience for me. I feel bad every time I say I did three, I served. No, I was there. I did it. I mean,
Yeah, that's great. It's honestly something to be proud of. I don't think anyone's going to shit on you for that, man. Like 32 years with the same job at McDonald's, that's not easy. And you definitely learn about customer service and how to deal with the public. I mean, we, as for my schedule, I have to deal with the public, one day, I have a 24-hour shift, and then I have 3 days off. I mean, you were doing almost every day.
Yeah. It was every day. And then
right?
but it's society and again, I'm taking that to society. Society always focuses on that negative. I mean, even when we rolled out the little 1-800 numbers on your cups at McDonaldland, I used to get frustrated because folks don't go to work to do a bad job. Are there times that things fall down in every career? Things are going to fall apart somewhere. But when you're getting bashed nonstop about something silly, whether it's the smile wasn't there, or you didn't give me a straw, or, it's not about the straw, or you're missing the chicken nuggets, man. Yeah, just ask, we're human. I mean,
Yeah.
but then, then it starts that whole negative cycle because people want to. And I was the union president for a while, and we were having problems. And I used to tell all these guys, you got to go in and do this. They'd always want to take the letter. We don't win nothing by fighting, guys. I mean, take a step back. We got to figure out where we're going, how we're going to get there as human beings, and have a conversation with the chief, if that's who we need to deal with, or the mayor, or city council. We don't win it by fighting. You don't win it by, you got to do this, and then you time out, get their point of view, get our point of view. Somewhere in the middle is going to be reality.
Yeah.
And if we can live with reality, then we move forward from there.
Yeah.
But then we don't. You got to ask what's your vision, your dreams. I believe in vision boards 100%. And what's your dreams? What's your future look like? Where do you want to? I ask my officers this all the time. What does this year? What are you going to do this year to get you to year 3? Because what you do today is going to be turned into year 5. If you're doing exactly the same thing you're doing today that you did yesterday, day before, your year 5 is going to be exactly what you're doing today. You're going to be complaining about the same stuff. You're going to be in the same boat. So what are you going to do this year that's going to change year 3? Because that's your change process to get you to year 5.
Speaking of vision boards, I see a bunch of medals behind you.
Oh, you got. I'm a tchotchke. This is my office, my workshop. I do T-shirts on the side too. I've run quite a few marathons.
I was just gonna say, so you do. I know you just did one. You did a Disney run.
Yes, I'm a perfect dopey runner, which we run a 5K, 10K, half, and a full over a weekend, 48.6 miles. Been doing that since 2014. I started running in 2009. That story, it's one of those experiences hit home. I went to the fire department physical. Doctor wanted to put me on cholesterol medications, high blood pressure medications. I thought I was dying. I went back to the station, called my wife. I thought I was, he wants to give me all these meds. And she said, hold on a minute. She was my guy, my guiding light. Said, hold on a minute. Let's get another doctor's point of view. Went to another doctor. I used to call him Dr. Bombay. His name was Dr. Bay. Dr. Bombay gave me a stress test. Go through the whole thing, come back that afternoon. He unfolds this paper. It was probably this long, but it felt like it was 5 foot long. Drew some lines on it. He said, you got a 3% chance of having a heart attack. I'm like, oh man, what does that mean? And he goes, you got 3% chance. I said, honestly, 3%. I get hit by a car walking across the street. 3%.
I say 3% is not that bad.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I was a little overweight. I was driving at the time. I guess the engineers, we get to eat and not move around much. And I started asking the questions to him about, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, what do you do? And he goes, the food pyramid, this, the nutrition, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I understand it. And he goes, go buy a cooler, put 2,000 calories in it, eat 2,000 calories, and go move around. So I still carry the blue cooler. When everyone sees me start training, I grab the blue cooler. I still carry it. 2,000 calories goes in. We try to burn 300, 500 calories a day. So I started running. A couple, 4 guys. They're actually, only one of them works with me currently here in the department. 2 of them went to Little Rock, but said, we're going to run the Little Rock Marathon in 2000. That'd be 2008. All that happened. 2009, they want to run the Little Rock Marathon. I said, I don't want to fail with all these people looking at me. So I went down to Disney World because I come from Florida. I ran the marathon January 2009, and I've been hooked since. I mean,
That's awesome.
Just keep going.
Good for you, man. I love it.
Which led to the health and wellness industry. I've trained people that I sold supplements myself and 2 other firemen. That right before COVID, we had our own supplement company, but that all went, just a little. It's a brick in the castle. I can go to the brick and say that was an experience.
Yeah. So where can people find you if you're doing any of your motivational speeches? Where can they find you, or how can they?
You can find me on Facebook.
Yep.
Look for my face. There's a couple Louisism pages on there because I just took them before other people did, and I float things there. But it's my face, Louis Cimino, and I'm pointing at the camera. I did have somebody this year decide to try to be me and solicit to gain funds, which was a nightmare because they took some photos of myself and some state troopers. It made it look like me, and I fought that with Facebook nonstop. But I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, social media. I'm working on a website, and maybe you can help me with getting a website. That's what I'm working on next. Get a website. I'm really word of mouth guy. I mean, right now, I'd like to see. I know I'm going to see on stage. I'm going to impact somebody, some people, and everyone says, "Well, what's your target audience?" My target I changed the target audience, and it's the theory, the philosophy that I'm saying, you can carry it anywhere. It's just you got to find the niche. Like I said, I did some stuff for some dispatchers in November. I realty company. I did this, talked to them this month. I'm hoping I can I don't want to say create a course because I'm not a school guy. I never was. But if I can create just some little pieces of something, a little paper for someone to fill out and get their mind right, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, get them through something. I mean,
Yeah. I love it.
So social media, Louisisms at gmail.com is my email address.
All right.
I'll give you my phone number, 501-779-1972. Leave me a message. I mean, we'll figure it out. I mean, it's like I said, it's an energy thing. If
I love it.
Talking to you, my energy goes up.
Yeah.
Talk to me, energy goes up. Maybe we'll interact and have
I
a
hope
phone
so.
call, and you get off the phone and you make it better for your wife, your kids, your neighbor. I mean, because like I said, the world thrives on negativity, and that it's just because it's what generates the money for the guys that are counting the beans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think in this world that everything's going on, we don't have time to honestly, it wears you out. It takes more energy to be negative and dealing with it. And I honestly have come to the conclusion that I think of especially with social media and people just, being crap to each other. It's like being in the real world. Like if you don't like somebody, you can just keep on walking. Right? Like back in the day, if I didn't like a kid down the street, I just wouldn't go to his house anymore.
Exactly.
I'd take a different way. Or if I'm in the grocery store and I see somebody that I really don't like, I'm not going to walk down the same aisle. I'll go around the other way and just avoid them. So I don't have to pretend to be nice or have to see them and feel uncomfortable. It's the same thing with the social media world. Dudes and ladies out there, if people are bothering you or you're feeling bogged down by all the negativity and there's somebody that's just giving you a bunch of crap, you know what you can do? You could actually delete them.
Scroll
right?
up.
You can scroll up. You can keep on scrolling by. You can block them. You can delete them.
Yeah.
That's what's great about it's in the palm of your hand. If you don't like it, you can literally just hit that ignore button and they're gone. Same thing with the haters. If you don't like something that somebody's doing, again, it's that great button. You could just hit delete or block, and you don't have to be bothered with their bullshit anymore. Yeah. And I think we get so in that habit of doom scrolling that you stop on somebody's page that you really don't like, and you look at it and you read what they're saying, you watch their video, and you're like, I hate this guy or I hate this chick, and you just keep, and then you close
that
it
energy.
Yeah,
the energy's coming right to you.
Yeah, dude, and you get angry, that poisons in your veins, and you're like, I fucking hate that guy, and you storm around the house or the station, but all you had to do was literally just go, I don't want to see that guy anymore, and just delete it. Now I don't have to see it. That's as simple as it can get. You can't even do that in the real world.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
So don't waste your time on the negative stuff. Larry, just take the negativity out of your life. It's going to be a lot easier. You're going to feel healthier. You're not going to have headaches. You're not going to have stomach aches. You're going to feel everything, dude. Negativity is cancer. Negativity, that's why they call it the cancer. That's why they call it toxic, right? It makes you feel like crap. When you're happy, you feel good. It's quite simple science, right?
Start with that gratitude. I mean, instantly you lift that energy up. I mean, I got a little chart I usually post. Once you got that 250s, boredom, everything below that 250, anger, I think is like 100 to 75 or something like that. You get into anger and all that, you're the only person you're affecting is you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to give it to everybody else. But gratitude, I'll get in. I don't believe in traffic. I mean, I get in traffic and people get frustrated, but I compare traffic to South Florida. It doesn't take me 45 minutes to go 20 miles here. So to me, traffic's okay. I take a breather, but you get people in line and, in a drive-through or whatever. Why you can't do this? Think of something, anything.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be sitting here. I'm happy that don't look at the clock, because you look at the clock and that's a McDonald land thing. 90 seconds. No, forget the 90 seconds, man. We don't live life like that.
Yeah. I love it, dude. So before we leave, I want to show people the website in case they're curious what it is, where they can find it. So I have it up here. The Kitchen Table Foundation, what we were talking about, and Louis works with them. So here is, can you see it, Louis?
Yeah, I can see it.
Beautiful. So we have the Kitchen Table Foundation. Here it is about us. So if you guys are looking for what it is, the information, how it got started. It all started with guys eating some wings. So it gives the whole story of it. And if you're looking to donate, there's a donate page. I believe, let's see if the merch table is up. Oh, there it is. So the merch is there, ladies and gentlemen. So they got some really cool stuff. Again, the Engine House Designs, Ignite the Pride, is doing their merch, and it's some really cool stuff up here. And they've got game jackets, they have their decals, patches are sold out currently. The t-shirts are really nice. I have one, I love it. The hoodies are cool as well. So make sure you're checking out the shop. Make sure you're checking out the store, though, most importantly, and also check out Engine House Designs. Thank you so much, Louis. I really do appreciate this conversation. It has been a fantastic one. And again, anybody who's looking for information on the Kitchen Table Foundation, please visit their website. Here is the pamphlet for the Kitchen Table Foundation. It is a nonprofit. They're doing great work, and they are working with the IFF Center of Excellence. And also, since we're talking about mental health, I always like to give a shout out to my guys Next Rung. So Charlie Brown, Blake Stennett, always doing great stuff with Next Rung. There's the barcode on the back. They have their number, Real Talk, and I just will say the number out loud for anybody who's listening. 833-NXT-RUNG. That's 833-698-7864. Text support to speak with a peer support provider. So again, we talked about it. If you need help, there's avenues to go. If you don't want to reach out to your employee assistance program, some people don't believe in them, have faith in them. That's fine. There's other avenues. Next Rung, Kitchen Table Foundation, IFF Center of Excellence. There's a lot of other places to go. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor, and reach out to the people that are here for you, because we want you around. And make sure you are checking out my man Louis. Hashtag Louisism. He is energetic. He's passionate. And man, I really enjoyed speaking with you tonight.
Thank you, man. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you for having me here.
Oh, my pleasure. It was an honor, my friend. So
thank you.
With that being said, y'all take care, stay safe, and here we go. Nozzle Talk.
Nozzle Talk.
Very, very good.